And away we go. It's another meeting here together, Brody. How you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing okay. I'm running a little late.
Yeah, I know. If we were doing this for a live audience, we would be getting heckled and jeered because we had to wait on Brody to get his stuff together this morning.
Yeah, I'm even filming from home today.
I know this is different, and it's really kind of creepy for the visual audience, or for the audio audience. Maybe visual audience could see it. For the audio audience, Brody's got a closet door behind him that I keep waiting for someone to jump out of because it's kind of cracked open.
Yeah, and I have my cats too, but I've locked my cats out.
That's good.
So that's good. So there'll be no cat entries into this video version of the podcast. That's for sure.
Yeah. So what's been good lately? You've been doing some traveling.
I have been. We were having this conversation, and I really enjoy staying in hotels, but some people don't like that. So are hotels good or not? Like my hotel, I love being in a hotel. It's like I'm being pampered at every step of the way, especially if you're in a good one.
What are you doing in hotels that you feel like you're being pampered every step of the way?
Well, the room is clean, and then they clean it every day. Usually there's food just down below that I don't have to cook or make, right? Like if there's a nice restaurant attached. I mean, I've stayed at some great places.
I for sure feel like I've evolved in, it used to be, give me a bed to sleep in, give me the hotel, and I'll be fine. And I wouldn't say that I'm to the extent that my wife is, where my wife is really, really particular about how clean it is and the ratings that are at the hotel and what it's going to look like. And I'm not to that level, although bless her for that, because we've stayed in some nicer hotels because of those decisions. But now I'm at this point where recently I stayed in a hotel and I was very ready to leave at the end of the time frame. It was for a conference. I was ready to go because that hotel was garbage. And so I get what you're saying, that sometimes it's just very nice, very fun to have a clean room and a comfortable bed, and you got the TV to yourself and you're just watching whatever. Yeah. And then sometimes it's like, why does it smell this way?
Fair enough. I mean, crisp sheets usually. Like, and if you have two beds, like two queens, my wife and I will sometimes sleep in different beds, like, because now you have the whole bed to yourself. Like I share the bed with my cats and my dog, and like you get into a hotel and you got the bed to yourself. I mean, you can just sprawl out. You can take a shower. I mean, the hot shower can be endless. You don't have to iron your clothes because you can put your clothes in the hot shower room, right? You can let that water run forever. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, man. Recently I had a suit with me and I packed it and I said, I'm going to steam my suit. And you know, like I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and wrinkle free for the next day.
That's
and so a great idea. I put it into the bathroom. I turn on the hot water and I sit down and I start to read and just watch TV, and I get zoned in. And it's like, I don't know how much longer it was, but my wife said, hey, are you going to check your suit? And I go in there and it's like a sauna is occurring. Like the water's dripping from the ceiling. Things are falling. There was so much moisture in the air. It was out of control.
That's problematic, Kevin.
It was problematic. And there was water on the floor. Like people could have fallen. It was a hazard.
Oh, that's not great. So you know, but yeah, when you stay in a great hotel, I mean, it is a great experience. And to me, like the service, like I think about the JW Marriott, the NACADA Region 5 conference this past April was in downtown Chicago. The hotel we stayed at had just an amazing restaurant below us, and the food was so great. I hardly even left the place.
You were landlocked. The hotel provided all.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
So when you were in Chicago, like what was your go-to food items? Like, do you have those when you're in that area?
Well, we were talking. I mean, I love a good hot dog. We were talking about hot dogs the other day. I mean, that's not automatically my go-to, but the one thing that we talked about the other day on the phone was like, what do you put on a hot dog?
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a mixed bag. Yeah, I feel like this is a trap of how we're going to be judged.
It is.
I would say I'm pretty anti-ketchup in all things. I am not a ketchup person. I really despise it.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't want it on anything. And if I'm using ketchup, it means the thing that I'm dipping in it is also terrible.
Ketchup with fries are great.
Never.
But not on a hot dog, though.
Okay, so what are you putting on a hot dog?
I'm pretty simple. Mustard and relish is kind of my go-to. How about you?
I don't know that I've ever put relish on anything. This may be a thing that I've never tasted and just think is nasty.
It's delicious.
What does relish taste like? Describe it for the audience.
It's like chopped up pickles.
Oh, I probably would like it. Is it sweeter though? That's what I feel like it is.
Yeah, you can get dill relish or sweet relish for sure. I mean,
I'm being judged by the audience at this moment. How have you never eaten relish and also never had coffee? Those type of things.
Yeah, how can you not enjoy ketchup on a hamburger though? Come on.
No, I like mustard and then I think a variety of sauces, but that's an interesting thing because if I go to a ball game, if I go to a baseball game, I'm really likely to get a hot dog because there's nothing like a ballpark hot dog. I don't know how they do it. Absolutely. There's some memories from growing up as a kid and going to St. Louis Cardinal games. But I'm not putting anything on it at all. The hot dog is good. And then I'll see these pictures of the really bougie and delicate hot dogs, and they've got all of this stuff and a ginormous bun, and I'm like, that looks delicious, but I never order that. I don't know why, but I never order that. I don't need that much. People have said chili dogs. I'm pretty simple. Put some mustard on the hot dog. I'm good.
The Skyline chili dogs are great. Have you had Skyline?
I know Skyline. I don't understand it.
Is it like St. Louis pizza?
Yeah, where I also don't understand that because that's garbage.
St. Louis pizza is garbage. There's no doubt about it. We have now ruined a couple of listening areas for sure.
Yeah, it's a good thing our listening base is not heavily in St. Louis because we're just trashing St. Louis style pizza.
Bacon around my hot dog, definitely. I mean, that's what I go to when I go to Busch Stadium. That bacon wrapped hot dog is amazing.
But isn't the truth of this is you could put bacon around anything and the answer is probably yes.
Yes, that's right. I mean, we're putting it on donuts now. I mean, I know we've talked about donuts before, but they put bacon on donuts now.
Yeah. I think you could put bacon around a tire and you probably eat it. So
I would give it a go, I think.
Right. Very chewy.
But the bacon tastes great.
Yeah.
Are we ready maybe to bring a guest on?
I think we're ready. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do it. I'm really excited about our guest today. Today we're joined by Isabelle Rena Langham, Director of Advising and Technology Initiatives in the Division of Student Success at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Isabella leads their efforts to integrate advising technology and strategic student support in a way that centers relationships with scaling impact. She's a first-generation college graduate like myself. She brings experience across higher ed, nonprofit, and cross-sector leadership, and she's known for her data-informed, people-first approach. And you've been involved in NACADA, National Advising Conversations, fellow Administrator Institute faculty member. You were in the ELP program, and I got a chance to kind of be a mentor to you in that regard. And now look at you. Look at us. We're all together kind of doing the pickup meeting. Welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here with the coolest guys in NACADA, right?
Oh, there's the shirt we need. We just need to self-own that, Brody.
That's right.
I don't know that that's a badge of honor because, there's not that many guys in NACADA, it feels like sometimes, but we'll take coolest guys in NACADA.
Yeah, that's true.
That shirt would be cool. I mean, really just as cool as the one I'm wearing. I was sharing this with someone earlier. I said, you know what? This is an Oregon Trail shirt, right?
I like it.
God.
When you think of education, you have to think of Oregon Trail, right?
You do.
I do. And I love how this has become a real cultural thing and that generations are now using Oregon Trail in a lot of ways. I got a pin recently. And for folks that don't know, I collect lapel pins. We've got 600, 700 lapel pins. And it's an Oregon Trail one that says you died of dysentery.
I mean, who didn't die of dysentery at one point in time on the Oregon Trail?
Everyone.
Like I
my
think
God.
wasn't that the default in the Oregon Trail? I mean, didn't almost everybody die of dysentery on the Oregon Trail?
If you
Correct.
you didn't grow up in that time frame.
Yeah. I mean, I lived the Oregon Trail, so what are we talking about? That's how old I am.
Yes, that's right. I don't even have to make the old jokes. You're making them for me. It's amazing.
I'm showing some initiative today, Kevin. You know, what can I do?
I'm really worried about how this recording is going to go. For folks that don't know, we're recording on a Friday. It's pretty early in the morning, and I feel like we're loopier than normal. And so who knows how this is going to go. But Isabelle, we're so pumped that you're with us. Let's start some things off. Let's have some fun. What would surprise young Isabella about the role that you've gotten to today? What would she say looking at that journey?
Oh, I think young Isabella would say, "We're not a songwriter? What happened to that?"
I'm not the goalkeeper of the U.S. national team. How'd that happen?
Yeah, what happened? What happened to that? One of the things that it's crazy though, is actually one of the things that I think that brought me into the advising space is that earlier on in my journey, I was working at a nonprofit agency, and it was a nonprofit agency that focused on leadership, arts, and academics. Those are the three pillars of the nonprofit. And so it is also a place in Nashville that has literally raised a lot of talent that have gone on to do so many amazing things in the entertainment industry. And so it was all of these things were combined, right? And so I'm in college, I'm in my third year, and had no intentions of becoming an advisor at this time in my life. And really at this nonprofit is where I say I got bit by the bug, because this is when I fell in love with working with young people and really just understanding what community service really is in terms of how we approach it as public servants. And so just really thinking through all those things, I was able to put aside all of the things that you think are your success indicators, right?
Yeah.
The things that you think are the metrics that you're supposed to hit, those milestones. And I really was able to just kind of focus in on actually having fun. I was having fun in my job. I enjoy working with people. And when I got rid of all of the labels, that's when I understood that I was really hitting my sweet spot. And later on in my career, I realized that was the thing that I also used to help students. I didn't know that I was doing it until after a while. It was actually when I was working in Las Vegas at UNLV, and I started telling students to think about, forget the labels, right? Like just think about who you are. And I think that if I would have to sum up anything about young Isabella and Isabella now, is that I've been very consistent and I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know this is what I was doing, but I was just really heavily relying on the idea of who are you as a person and how do you bring that into a space. And so I think that young Isabella would be surprised that we're not a songwriter, right? But but at the same time, I've been very fortunate to bring that element of creativity. So I think young Isabella would be very proud of me.
Oh,
I think so too. I think
absolutely.
That's great.
So Isabella, you've had roots kind of working in HBCU context, but now you're leading a central system level role at UTK. That's very different, but what's stayed consistent maybe in your purpose across those environments?
Oh, definitely what I was just talking about in terms of like really understanding the who I am as a person and how I show up in that space. I'm very mission driven, definitely. And one of the good things about being at UTK is that it is a strengths-based institution where the leadership really invests in not just what strengths mean to students, but what it means to the staff. And that is huge. It's game changer. We're constantly in our field, we're always talking to students, encouraging them, helping them, guiding them in a way of understanding who they are. But it's a different level of understanding when your leaders are actually investing in you, understanding who you are and making sure that you are aligning in those spaces. I think that is great for lots of reasons, right? Not just for development, but just even for wellness and satisfaction, which reduces turnover, right? And it also just increases your outcomes as well. If people are satisfied, if they are happy about what they're doing, and they are feeling some type of meaningful connection to it, then they can typically continue, being successful in what they're doing. And so I think that the difference with being at an HBCU and being where I am now is that I was a unit director at the HBCU, right, at TSU, but it was also my alma mater. So as with anything, sometimes we go into a position and, I'd say, oh, we'll be here 2, 3, 4 years. We'll have like a time limit of what that looks like. But when I went to TSU, I also had a time limit. I was just moving back from the West Coast and coming back to the South. And it was a dream of mine to actually serve at my undergraduate alma mater, which is TSU, Tennessee State University. And so I wanted to give back, in the same place that had given so much to me. And that 2-year kind of deal that I thought I was making turned into 7 years. And so during that time, what I kept realizing was that there was always some need, right? Sometimes we look at it as, there's always a problem to fix, something to find a solution for. But instead, I found that there was always a need. There was something new about every cohort that was coming in, and I felt like there was something I could give, right? Until there was the time that I felt like, I had given all of the things that I could give at that time, to my institution. And then I transitioned to somewhere else. That's what really moves me. And it's the same thing that I bring into the space at UTK, is that, I am definitely driven by what is it that I can bring, right? Because there's something that I can bring that no one else can bring. There's something that someone on my team can bring that no one else can bring. How do we bring those things together and really solve for the need? Right, the needs of today, the needs of tomorrow, and so those are the things that I find that they ground me.
Yeah, I love that strengths-based approach. That idea that all of us have unique gifts to bring to the table. That's fantastic.
Your job right now, and some of the story that you're talking about, just strikes me as very based in human connection and human flow of your work. And so right now you oversee both systems and human workflows. And so I'm curious, because I think this is a delicate balance in the work we do. Like, how do you ensure that technology enhances human connection rather than eroding it?
Oh, that's a great question.
Oh, thanks so much. Listen,
I didn't get that.
Will we talk more about my great question?
I didn't get that.
I know. All right. Like, how about that, Brody? It was
Brody. Your question was average, satisfactory, but Kevin, yours was a great question.
Yes, Brody. Hold on, just stay over there. Your average question will be next. Isabella has to answer this one.
This great question.
This great question.
Yeah,
love it.
Look, y'all have to stop making me laugh, because every time I laugh, my AirPod is coming. But I know that's impossible. You're going to make me laugh the entire time.
Yeah, your next question, Brody, also can't be great or funny.
I know. Doggone it.
Okay, let me think. Now I'm trying to remember the question.
Here we go. I'm going to ask it in a very great way. How do you ensure technology enhances human connection rather than eroding it?
Okay, wonderful. And thank you for making the question great again. Okay, well, I think it's really just approaching it from a human lens, right? Bringing the humanism into the tech space, for me, really just means that everything that we do, are we thinking about the experience of students, the experience of the user from the professional staff space, right? It always has to think about, like, what's the workflow to get us from point A to point B. But within that workflow, then how is the user experiencing it? Always thinking about that, for me is where I can't think about the workflow and not think about the people. So that's one of the great things that I love about being in this particular role, because I get to work with a really, really smart CRM team. And this is a shout out. I hope that they watch this because they are great. I get to work with a really good CRM team because UTK transitioned from Navigate to Salesforce. So, and our CRM team, like I said, really, really smart. And when we come together, we are hashing out different things. We talk through them, and it's not a full-on just technical based type of conversation where we're just talking about functionality. But that functionality includes, well, when we do this, how will the user really experience this? Like when they click on this, what actually happens? And then what are the questions do they have? Because that's, when you have technology based initiatives, to me, the biggest thing that I think that happens that is like the downfall with most institutions is that they're always quick to launch something very fast. Like we want to get it out.
Yep.
As if tomorrow's not coming.
Right. Yeah.
And so, and the way that we launch a thing really, determines how our users, find it reliable or something that they even want to interact with. And you don't want to create a sour taste in your user's mouth or experience, right? Just by trying to launch something really fast. So the humanism side of that really is just always thinking about the people who are interacting with it from multiple angles. Even our tech people, right? Because we know that our tech people sometimes will not think about what the students are thinking about. They're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with the tech, right? That's usually the answer. The tech is fine. That means it's something else. Well, not necessarily. And so you need more roles like mine that can advocate for what happens in the advising space, what happens in the student space, so that you can marry those things.
I think the other thing, when we think about new tech, to me, there's always a reluctance, or there has seemed to be reluctance from at least a portion of advising teams when you're bringing in new technology, right? They don't automatically see the purpose or the reasoning behind things, but that data, those feedback loops, like early alert, predictive analytics, advisor dashboards, how do you help advisors kind of use that information to inform continuous improvement of advising services? Because I think a lot of times we don't want to use the tech, even if it's going to help us be more efficient in the work.
Yeah, that's also a great question, Brody.
Oh, now we're just handing them out like handshakes on the Great British Bake Off. No, I'm kidding. They don't do that very much.
I think you're right with new tech. I think helping them to like really understand how it's beneficial for them is really just using simple language. We use a lot of jargon. I mean, we use a lot of acronyms, we use just a lot of things, and we throw things at people and act like they understand it. And that's just across the board with a lot of things that we do and say. It's like, can't we just talk plainly with each other sometimes,
Right.
Laugh a little bit and make it, not so serious. I mean, yes, we're dealing with serious things, but every time we have a conversation, it doesn't have to be this overwhelming thing, right? It doesn't have to be this huge, complex thing. I think that's a part of the advising administrator's role, is to really make complex things simple as much as possible. And so, and especially with new technology, it's really just helping people understand what it is. Again, back to those needs, right? Solving for those needs. What is it that you need? Let me show you how you can solve for this need, right? The functionality piece, that's honestly just making sure that people, in terms of the technical experience, that's the training is for, is to, and honestly, we don't do a great job at training our administrators. We don't do enough of it. We do great
Great point.
Yeah, we do great at training our advisor 1 levels, maybe coordinators. But when you get to assistant director and above, and even sometimes coordinators at some institutions, we don't do a great job at doing, at creating some type of ongoing training. We do an initial onboarding, they get some in, Do you know how to do this, especially from the informational pieces, that from our components, right? But beyond that, we don't do a great job at training them. And if you look at other fields, there's always some type of robust training that is involved with what is he doing?
I think the cat's coming in. Sorry, He said he locked the cats out, and all of a sudden, during the last question you were answering, I heard a meow, and I'm like, "Uh-oh, here we go." For our audio audience, Brody's now holding cats. Like he has become a cat guy.
They love me so much.
Yeah, the cat is interested in our conversation.
Your answer is so just interesting and wonderful that the cat now needs to know more about advising in tech and change. Sorry to interrupt the answer there. Now you got to find your focus again.
Oh, it's all good. I was just talking about training. I think that the cat understands very well, and that's why the cat came out at this point, that it is something so needed. We really do have to do a better job at making sure that our training initiatives include our administrators as well, right? Because that's why a lot of times when they're looking at, if they're using Navigator, if they're using Salesforce, Starfish, whatever platform they're using, they often don't know what to look for, right? Or how to navigate whatever reports that they need. And let's be honest, and I know this was my experience and probably several other people out there. I remember when we were doing the EAB implementation, like maybe 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And it seems like it was just yesterday, but during that time, I remember we were just trying to figure out what to put in each field to generate the report that we needed. And sometimes we weren't even sure if the data was correct, right? Because then we were also relying on, Banner to have the cleanest data that we need, so all of these different things. And so rather than keeping people in the dark about it, I think that it's really just every administrator, one, needs a tech person. That's true, especially now. I think so. But then also having someone that understands assessment and report from the space of, like, when we get this from, our platforms, what does this really mean? And then how can we make this mean something for us, like I said, now, and then also for future development?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing that we talk about with the roles that we're in, and the fact that we've all been a part of tech implementation or tech that doesn't necessarily go the way that you want it to. And your points that you bring up on administrators work within that and the things that they need, it to me is kind of fascinating, because you get down to what reports do I get? How do I pull data? Those things, and the accuracy of. I think back frequently, and I think it's just going to be the way that the world works for a while. But we start to panic with the AI things that are coming on right now, and you hear that from various folks when technology is being talked about. When I walked by vendor booths at a conference, and every single one of them was, "We have AI." Yeah, we all have AI. Calm down.
That's right.
There's no need to flex. And so, it's one of those things where, but I think back to the user that you were talking about initially in that advisor. And when we were, onboarding a degree audit system back in my time at WKU, I would hear frequently, well, this is going to replace my job. This is going to take it away. And that's why I think that conversation we were having about enhancing human connection, that's the technology part of it. Through all the anxiety that's occurring at that moment, how are we enhancing the human connection with the things that we're using to support the student success efforts? Those are the things I think get really powerful in our work. There should probably be a question coming. Got it. Okay. So I'm going to go.
I think that point is really important, Kevin. It's 100% right. I presented on that this spring at Region 5, right? AI is not going to erode our connection with humans. It's hopefully going to enhance it. It's going to allow us to have better conversations, the real conversations we want to have with students as advisors. And so as long as we're training and teaching and working with advisors to understand that and helping them clearly think about how AI is going to enhance their role and give them role-specific training, I think that AI is going to be a really helpful tool in the advising space.
Yeah, I think it'll also enhance. I know we talk about students a lot, but I think that it'll also enhance, our strategic decision making in terms of how we are structuring our offices as well. Because, like, for example, we were just talking about like reports, right? And assessment. There's so many advising offices that don't have an assessment specialist to help with some of those things, and they really do need it, right? Especially as we continue to move forward. There's so many things that AI can do, and there are things that we can train AI to do as well. But AI can only be trained from the sources that we have, and if our sources aren't great, then it's hard for AI to pull information, even from things like trying to create an FAQ, right? As an example. Like, your sources have to be great, which means that someone has to manage that. Someone has to constantly monitor that, update it. And so we have to think strategically about how do we even get staff around certain things so that we can make AI work for us.
That's great.
Our paths have connected because of NACADA and the NACADA world. And so as this episode is releasing, the annual conference is just a couple days away. And so I'm curious, Brody talked about your involvement with the Administrators Institute, the Emerging Leaders Program. How has that NACADA network shaped your thinking and your career?
John Sauter was my ELP mentor, and Brody.
Love John.
John's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brody and Jeff Elliott kind of adopted me during the process as well. And that's the power of that type of network. And it wasn't a thing where, well, let me say this. I remember when I applied to be a part of the ELP, and I know that there are always, like, especially, during that time, there were a lot of applicants, right? And so you never know, and you wonder whether or not if you'll get selected. And I didn't have like a ton of NACADA experience. I wasn't, I had consistent experience in terms of volunteering in a way, but I wasn't a region chair or any of those types of things. I wasn't over committee at all. And so I was like, oh, I won't get selected. I said, let me just try anyway. And the reason why I even thought about doing it was because I wanted to connect more with other practitioners. I wanted to understand what they were doing. And it was more than just, let me just shoot you an email and find out, because NACADA, as we know, is good at sharing resources. But I really wanted to connect with other people and find out more about like their experience and what they think about advising, because I stumbled into it like other people. And so I'm always interested in those stories. And so just being a part of NACADA, I think that especially with the ELP, what I found was that I had John, who was my assigned mentor, right? And he worked with me on specific goals. And then there was like Brody showed up, and then Jeff Elliott showed up. And so it wasn't well, I'm not your mentor, so I can't talk to you. I'm not your mentor, so, I can't, share information with you. Everyone was so personable. And that's what I found to be the biggest benefit of just being active in a NACADA, whether it's ELP or anything, is that you'll see these like even like a Jenny Bloom. If you know anything about appreciative advising, then like Jenny Bloom, right? This is a big name in our world, in our field. And at the same time, you can walk by Jenny and talk to Jenny and at a conference and sometimes what I realized was that one time what happened to me was that I didn't know who Jenny was, and I was just talking to her and didn't realize, oh, this is Jenny Bloom, right? It normalizes, like our experiences with each other, that we're all in it together. No one is up here and someone is down here. Like, we're all in it together. We're all trying to advance the field in our own individual ways. And it seems like there's just this full current of encouragement that, just really is just surging through to just remind people to just be who they are and bring that to the table. And we continue to advance the field together. So
Isabella, I think that's such a great point. I think about my service and why I started to get involved in NACADA almost 25 years ago. And look, it was for purely selfish reasons. I wanted to be better at my job. And the way you get better at your job is by connecting to people that are doing the same kind of work that you're doing. I mean, it's such a great point. And I think we forget that. Like when we go to NACADA conferences, or we're trying to get involved in the association, which has been nothing but a second family to me. But the piece that's really important that we sometimes forget about is eventually we have to go back to our spaces and do the work, right? We have to try to be successful. And the way that you do that is you build those networks and then you lean on them. I mean, that's even the rationale behind this pickup meeting. Kevin and I talk a couple days a week because sometimes we got problems and there aren't a lot of people that can help us get to the answers to those problems. I mean, Kevin's terrible at it. I call him with a problem and he doesn't help me at all, but he is at least one guy that I can count on to listen.
I love it, Brody. You're right. I provide no answers, and that's why you keep calling. And I keep answering. The whole NACADA celebrity aspect of things to me makes me reflect back on. I think I went to a conference with a good colleague, Tyler Phelps. I think I've mentioned him before. And I'm walking around, and it's like, "Hey, Jenny Bloom, how's it going?" And he's like, "That's Jenny Bloom." And I'm like, "Yeah, you should go say hi instead of being weird and whispering about." It's like, "Oh, there's Charlie Nutt." And so I was thinking about those people that he was talking about. And so I just, as we're having a conversation, I looked up and I said, big names in the academic advising community. And I was like, I'm curious who's going to come up. And there's no surprises, right? Virginia Gordon's on the list, and previous guests, Marsha Miller and Karen Sullivan Vance. And then it gets down to noteworthy figures from NACADA. And it says, Brody Brochures. AI says it's you, Brody.
I don't believe it for 1 second.
I'm going to have to take a screenshot of this because I'm sitting there going, it is Brody Brochures. Look at you.
That can't be true.
How much are you paying AI for these moments?
I don't know. I mean, Kevin, the one thing I want to be like 100%, like you talked about meeting Jenny Bloom. This is not a lie. My first annual conference was in 1999 in Denver. And I think I went with one other colleague, but we got separated at check-in. And legitimately, the first person I spoke to at the annual conference in NACADA in 1999, Charlie Nutt. I bumped right into Charlie Nutt, and he's like, hello, who are you? And I was telling him, and I had no idea who he was. And then he gets up and starts talking at the annual conference. I'm like, holy moly, I was talking to the guy, like the guy who's doing this. It was surreal.
It's
but he
amazing.
didn't care. I mean, he didn't tell me I'm the executive director of NACADA. He just said, hey, how's it going? Who are you? What are you doing? Why are you here? It was great.
Yeah, it's amazing how those things happen. I mean, when I think about like really how I bumped into like Kim Smith and Tara and Dana, like I bumped into Dana, like honestly, just in a line. And she was asking me about something that I had in my hand. And that really sparked the conversation. I had no clue who she was. Yeah. And, and Dana is super cool. It's like, there's this huge community of people that are just really great. Even my own, my AVP at UTK right now, I didn't realize it until, honestly, it was after I had accepted, the role at UTK that there was a connection with my supervisor, Dr. Melissa Irvin. Very, very smart. She's hilarious. She's like this tech guru and advisor guru at the same time. And so she and John Sauter, my ELP mentor, they had a connection through NACADA from, some years ago where they had wrote some things together. And it is so amazing, like how big this community really is. And at the same time, you don't know who some of these people are until you're just kind of like walking around or bumping, and it's just what I found, like I said, it to be is just a place where you really can just connect with someone in California. You can connect with someone, in Canada. then someone in Mississippi, someone at a community college, someone at, a 4-year public, and all of these experiences, when they come together and they come to you in a way that you really can just like you said, Brody, like really help you to be better at your job, and even honestly help you to be even great as a human. Just how you approach things in the world, how you approach your work and helping others.
I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't. And you said it very well. So as we get closer to some fun questions, not that these haven't been fun, they've been great, but I don't know if they've been fun. But when you go home at night, Isabelle, how do you measure whether your day moved the needle towards student success?
Kevin, that's a fun question.
No, this is the last one. This is the last one that's not fun.
It's not fun. It's hard, I think.
Ooh. You know what?
She gave me a little grief, Kevin. That was great. I loved it. That's a fun question.
I got great question earlier, and now this one's like, this one, don't use again. Got it.
I mean, I think that, every day is different. And for me, I didn't need my Clifton Strengths Assessment to tell me that I was an idea maker, or right? I ideate all the time. And so I think success for me is being able to prioritize, like today, was I able to prioritize what needed to be prioritized today? Because I have a million ideas a day. And we know that idea fatigue and initiative fatigue are two things that can overwhelm anyone. And so for me, when the day ends, I want to know whether or not if I prioritize what needed to be prioritized today, and was I able to say with great confidence that something else that I held off for tomorrow was a good decision, right? That's what helps me at the end of the day in terms of pushing the needle, because my job, the way that my job is in terms of like having multiple projects, it is critical that I think about how I prioritize like what I'm doing throughout the day. Because also as an administrator, as we know, we get caught up in tons of meetings as well. So, and what I have learned to do, what I try to do most now is that, how do I also show up for myself with a better, balance, so I'm not up in the middle of the night trying to finish something that I needed to do today, right? Because I was in 8 meetings today. And so if I can prioritize in a way that I feel good about it at the end of the day, then that was a success to me.
Now we're going to go to fun, right, Kevin?
Let's go.
Let's fun this thing up.
So you're a bourbon person, right, Isabella?
I am.
So like, do you have a favorite, or is there a drink that you like mixing bourbon with, right? Like, give us the scoop. Like, what's your go-to?
2 drinks are my favorite. One is a sidecar with bourbon.
Okay.
Instead of cognac, right? It's usually made with cognac. And so I like a sidecar with bourbon. I also like something that's called a Gold Rush, which is like bourbon, lemon, a little simple syrup with honey.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It is.
I think I can get behind that.
Yes. And in terms of like just a favorite bourbon, do I really have a favorite? Is like I've had allocated, but
there are so many.
There are, and I really do like, in terms of like, if I'm gonna mix it with something, I love a good Eagle Rare to mix with, because it's really smooth, it's simple, it doesn't have a ton of bite. But if I'm sipping for some bite, then I'll do something else. Like a Woodinville or something. But
you could have just gone with, do you have a favorite bourbon, and just said yes, and lots of them.
I mean, he took me down the road, It's like asking someone about their favorite food, right? Or
it's bad news.
All right, so if they made a film about you, who would you cast as you, and would we get a scene of you jam into a playlist that you just created and coloring at your desk, just solving the world's problems? And who would play you?
Kerry Washington.
Yeah, there you
go.
There you
go. She has such a versatile background in like all of the roles she's played. I think that she could bring a lot of the different elements of me to film.
I like it.
Yeah, like that great. Artsy, the intellectual, like all of those things, like just bring it all in.
Isabella, do you have a favorite college or professional sports team?
So I am a Saints fan. I know you said college, but
or professional, it's good,
right? Yes, I'm a Saints fan because I grew up about an hour from New Orleans, in a place called Moss Point, Mississippi. Very proud of my hometown. It's on the Gulf Coast, and so I grew up with a T-shirt at like age 4 that said "Who Dat," and I went around the house saying "Who Dat," talking about beating the Saints, right?
Yeah.
So that's my team.
That's great.
Oh, your poor team right now. They're struggling.
Hey, we're still sending good vibes and thoughts and all of the things.
They have won a Super Bowl. They have won a Super Bowl more recently than the Vikings and the Dolphins. That's for sure.
I know he has that Vikings behind him.
I was gonna say, it's hard to have a guest on here that's cheering for a football team that has less wins than the Dolphins. But
wow,
yeah, but this is the case. Sorry, Isabella.
Man, but it's like the Vikings in that part of the world. The Packers are actually doing really good this season. So, Kevin, you don't like that, right?
Oh, he doesn't like that.
Not a fan, no. But listen, not all teams can play for ties, and so for our sports fans that just watched the tie recently, thanks, Pack. Thanks.
Hey, you're a new soccer fan. You should be used to ties.
Oh, yeah. Still can't do it. Still can't do it. So we're going to have a whole host of our listeners that are going to be joining us in Vegas here in the next few days. What are those 2 or 3, and I bet it's going to go more than that, 2 or 3 things that people should do in Vegas that maybe they don't think about that because you lived there for several years?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Visit Red Rocks if you can. Just rent a car for like a day. Just drive out and see it. It is absolutely beautiful. There's also a wetlands park that a lot of people don't know about. It's different, but if you like nature, the wetlands park is also something that is pretty cool. Let's see. Now you said something to do, but I was thinking about food too.
Yeah, let's go. That's what I was going to ask. That's what I need to hear. Come on.
Best barbecue, hands down, is at John Mule's Roadkill Grill. Hands down. It's in North Las Vegas. Absolutely the best barbecue. Not just in Vegas, but some of the best barbecue I've ever had.
Let's go.
Yeah, definitely is worth a visit. Herbs and Rye is a cool little spot, and anything downtown Las Vegas is also cool. Like if you want to cheap eat, like Evil Pie is cool. The Container Park has a lot of cool places to eat, fairly inexpensive. If you said I could go on and on, but I know I'm looking at the time and I don't want to keep going over, but yeah, so many great things to do in Vegas, and then also definitely great. Oh, I got to say this. If you are a burger fan, the burger at Oscar's in the Plaza Casino Hotel, it is a great burger, and you go during happy hour. So then that way you can get all of the happy hour specials and the burger if you want to, but one of the best burgers. It is a Angus burger. So good.
And so, Isabelle, you want to go ahead and just give everybody your cell number so they can text you for guidance while in Vegas?
Yes. 777.
No,
don't do it.
Don't do it.
That was a
comes
song,
on
right?
the day before. You will get so many texts, Isabella. You can't do it. We're going to stop you. Like, don't do it.
But Isabelle was wearing a shirt saying, I know Vegas. Let me help you.
Maybe Matt can create a pin for me.
Yeah.
There it is. That's right.
Yeah, it's either going to be that or I died of dysentery, so be careful.
I love it.
All right, we ready for some lightning round, Brody?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Sweet or salty snack? No judgment.
Both. I gotta have both.
That's a good answer.
Okay, one campus event you always look forward to each year.
Well, I'm at a new campus, so I'm learning about the events that are happening at UTK. But I really did enjoy their torch night. It was really amazing, and so I'm looking forward to that next year.
I would say this, and I know we're jumping in on the lightning round. Isabelle is a great follow on LinkedIn because of the things she's posting about the work and the things that are going on at UTK. And just some of those things end up being things that I think I've thought about, like, oh, how could I build that in and what I'm doing here on my campus? Or, it's been those things of like aspirational things. And the torch lighting ceremony you're talking about looked amazing.
Kevin, you're great at it too. Sorry, Isabella, get going. Yeah, you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it looked great. If your favorite non-work app on your phone.
Oh, the designer home.
Well, tell me what this is.
Oh goodness, it's called Design Home is what it's called. So you get to design all of these different rooms. It's always different room types, from like a living room to a patio. I mean, and it's gotten so fancy. I started playing with it like during the pandemic, and over the years they have stepped up their game. Like every year it gets better and better. And so yeah, definitely that's my thing.
If it took our homes, if I could take a picture of our home and then it did design for me at my place, I would be very happy.
It doesn't do that, but it allows me to use my creative brain to think about like, oh, okay, well, what would I do with this and with that, with different, play around with different styles.
Okay. Isabella, what's a book that's significantly shaped your thinking?
Oh, Failing Forward by John Maxwell. And also totally different. But Sula by Toni Morrison. It's not one of those books that's usually on someone's list, for shaping your thinking, but it's definitely something when I was in college that was something that resonated with me. Yeah.
I know that you're in Portland right now and you are enjoying some well-earned time away. Portland's a big favorite city of yours. We enjoyed it a couple years ago when we were there for annual conference, exploring and getting to know it. What are your travel bucket list locations besides Portland?
Tokyo.
Oh.
Yes, that is on my list. Tokyo, and I also want to go to Ghana. Those two places.
Okay. Do you have a karaoke song, Isabella?
I don't have a favorite karaoke song because I have an entire list that's called Karaoke Church Me Please. And the reason why it's called that is like it's like all of the songs that people like to sing at karaoke that reminds you of someone belting it out in church, right? All of the good chords, all of the good harmonies, right? Like just like Kiss from a Rose, right? You gotta belt that thing out.
Love that track. That's a great track. I don't think I could do it. I don't think I have that kind of range.
You do not have that type of range. Let's just be honest about it.
I mean, I'm a legend in my own mind, Kevin, as it relates to karaoke, though. I think I like it.
Listen, I think you could have stopped that sentence at a legend in my own mind and then just not gone on beyond that. But who knows? How about a last question here before we start to wrap this thing up? You like to build a playlist. You just talked about that a little bit. What's the last playlist you built, and what was the mood or occasion that you might have built that for?
The very last one that I built was so I had a friend that challenged me, who's actually going to be at the conference, but challenged me. They said that they knew more music than I do. I don't believe them. And so we have an entire rubric, and there are 20 songs that we had to get through. And so I have a playlist of 20 songs and I call it the winner circle because I'm going to win.
Yes. Love it.
Love it. Well, and here's the thing too, just for our audience. there is an Adventures in Advising the Pickup Meeting playlist for the annual conference that's out there. And so that will be in the links that we have available for the show. But make sure you're checking it out as you're driving and or flying or traveling to Vegas in whatever way you're going to get there. So
we need to rename that to the Winner Circle also.
That's the best name for it. I mean, really?
That's right. Isabelle, you've been fantastic today. We've been so glad to have you.
Thank you so much for having me on here today. It's been really cool just to talk to you and catch up. Always enjoy talking to both of you. You're hilarious. And I'm just glad that my AirPod, has stayed in the entire time, because I was worried for a second.
And so excited to see you here in a little under a month.
Yeah.
Yes, in a couple of weeks.
We're looking forward to it. Great having you on, Isabella. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
How fantastic.
Oh, I love me some Isabella time. She was awesome.
One of the first answers she said really struck a chord with me, because she was talking about the journey, and we kind of started off with what would young Isabella say to that answer. But then, it really got into realizing that what we're doing professionally and personally is a journey. And I think back to that in the power of goal setting, but not being so ingrained in the goals that you don't enjoy the journey. And I think that that journey that we go on, being able to breathe and say, well, this path may be interesting to explore. This may be a good career to look at. This job may be something I wasn't thinking about because I was thinking about this goal. It left me thinking about how often we have conversations about goals, and how often we should probably add into that it's okay that the journey winds a bit.
Yeah. The other thing that, and this was kind of early on too, was just this idea that it's important for us to define what success means to us uniquely, right? I mean, without that kind of grounding your actions and your motives, you can run into a lot of problems. And so I really appreciated her saying, I had to take a step back and kind of really think, what does success for me look like? And being very intentional in that, because it really is bad if we're letting those external forces of what people think success should look like, and that's motivating our actions. I think we end up in bad spaces when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah. She was fantastic. And again, I'm so glad that we had her on. All right, let's wrap this thing up. Right.
Yeah.
And we're pivoting.
We are.
We had a top 3 for what we were going to end it with. And we were like, you know what? That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to move this to top 3 things you like to do at an annual conference, or that are part of your tradition or your journey that you've had, because you've been to every NACADA ever, because you're just that old, right? I mean, for how many you've been to?
Yeah, it's true. I've been to a lot. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. So do you want to start the top 3, or am I starting the top 3?
You can start.
Yeah. So some of this is city dependent. And I'll say, I think for both of us, we'll say one of the best parts is finding the great sessions that occur. I'm not going to put this on my top 3, but there are always so many great sessions, and trying to pick those out, because that learning occurs. And I've been to conferences where the sessions are garbage and trash and not great. And I really struggle with that. And those aren't NACADA conferences. No, usually.
They're not.
NACADA has some really great sessions. And so check those out. But my top 3 things that I like to do that are built around an annual conference. I like to tour a venue of some sort.
Oh,
it's great. I will say I picked this up. Karen Archambault likes to, when she's there, tour a professional sports arena. And so sometimes
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Tour Diamondback Stadium. I've done the Padre Stadium. There's several that are there, but like that's always a nice thing to just step out and tack that on to the end of a day. Number 2 on my list, and probably number 1 in my heart, is connecting with my network. I am a big believer that when you go to a conference, and especially the NACADA conference, these are people you don't see often. And so go spend time with them. I'm always left completely flummoxed whenever people are like, well, we have our campus dinner tonight. You can have dinner with them anytime, right? Like, go have dinner with people that you don't get to see often. Like, get out and about, explore, do that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I'd say, and I think you're a big influencer in this because your Instagram used to be very food heavy. I know it's not anymore, but it used to be very food heavy. Explore a new restaurant, like go to some place that you wouldn't typically go to, get away from some of those things. Isabella was talking about good options when we're in Vegas, but I reflect back on Pittsburgh a year ago and walking back from going to check out the Steelers stadium. And as I'm walking back, there was just this Greek restaurant that was there. And I went and had it. And I was the only person in this Greek restaurant. And it was an fairly older gentleman that brought me a Diet Coke on a platter and a Greek salad that had a banana in it. And then I get to talking to this guy and he said, actually, I used to make the Greek salad like that for the Kennedy family when I used to work on their boat.
What?
And it's like, right, just taking a journey and doing something different. Like go do that with a restaurant or something. But those are my three.
Yeah, you know, me and Carrie Kincannon now are kind of on this rampage to see shows when we're at Annual, when we get together. Carrie Kincannon, dear friend of mine, we got to get him on the show for sure. But he's a massive music fan, and so I'm really excited. We're going to go see Tears for Fears on Saturday when we get to NACADA in Vegas. I'm really excited about that. I cannot believe this, but he has never seen Tears for Fears, and I actually have, and I have no idea how that's even possible. That guy's been to so many shows, and I used to think I was a big concert goer, but he's killing it. But he's never seen Tears for Fears, so I'm excited about that.
That's
so
awesome.
Look, food. I mean, come on, that donut tour, the pizza place in Phoenix,
the donut tour. Oh
yeah.
My gosh.
The pizza place in Phoenix that we went to that's done by that world famous guy. Golly, the meal that I'm like, just cool places to eat is on the list. When Salt Lake City was kind of, to me, a real underrated annual conference, I think it was 2013 maybe. And we went to this place. I went to this place by myself 2 days in a row called Lamb's. I think it's closed now, but it was this famous breakfast spot, super old. And just amazing breakfast. Like I think I had the chicken fried steak one day. I had the biscuits and gravy one day. So amazing. And then third thing, I mean, I've been to so many. I present a lot. I really enjoy presenting, right, and sharing and learning. And, I try to do some new things. And so even if you're not presenting, I think your advice of getting into presentations and kind of learning and doing that stuff is really important. No question about it. There are great sessions. And I just hope everybody has a good time, like find good food, be with good friends. Kind of my philosophy, I guess, because, I'm on that list of key figures. I just love the ones I'm with, right? Like, I think there's always this risk of FOMO, and don't FOMO. Just love the ones you're with when you're there. That's the way to make the most of a conference experience in my mind.
I love that you've now brought up that you're a key figure in NACADA. Like you used it as reality.
I said apparently. I didn't say that I was. You stop that, Kevin Thomas.
AI said Brody's awesome. And so there we go. Hey, listen. So here we go. Tears for Fears, because everybody's going to be like, oh, I know some of their songs. And so let's change them into our world. Sometimes higher ed feels like a mad world. Oh, see what I did there?
Mad world.
A mad world. Everybody wants to rule higher education. I don't know what to do with that, but
sometimes we get frustrated, so we just have to shout and let it all out.
There it is. We've hit them all, but we need to wrap this thing up here, Brody.
Yeah. Hey, all right, folks. That's it for this edition of the Pickup Meeting, and we hope your own meetings, whether they're formal or pickup style, are as meaningful and as fun as these have been. So until next time, gang, do good, be nice. We'll see you on the flip side.